Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the War of 1812. More importantly, what if America won the War of 1812? Of course, we all know America today as the democratic, freedom-loving war machine that practically can obliterate any enemy that doesn't have nukes. But back then, it wasn't really set in stone that America was a superpower, as it just gained independence and its army wasn't really that strong and it wasn't as big as the empires all around it. Of course, this all led to the events of the War of 1812, whenever Britain started taking Americans off their ships because they were suspected to be British trying to abandon wartime conscription. Of course, neither side was in the wrong, but America, they were pretty angry. Warhawks in Washington were telling James Madison to go to war, and America was ready for war. At least the president and the Warhawks were. No, the average citizen didn't really want the war, but they're going to have it anyways. Obviously, the military wasn't really like what it is today, where you can just napalm anything that moves. It was more of a, hey, let's go get some guns. And, well, yeah, they had a professional army, but during the defense of Washington, it was mostly just militiamen trying to save Washington, which did lead to bad stuff, as Washington Harbor was just kind of left exposed to the British, where they could land men, ships, and that led to them just burning down the White House. Of course, in this new timeline, let's say that the military is better, I don't know, more ships, more manpower, and more training so then the men know what they're doing. Also, in this timeline, let's say that Canada isn't so, supporting the British, but instead, whenever Americans invade, instead of saying, let's go kill some Americans, the Canadians say, well, I want to be liberated by Americans. Why would this happen? I don't know. Let's just say it does, because I don't want to have to make this video really long. Also, since Canada is the main battlegrounds of this war, that would just make an easy defeat for Britain in the north, and there would most likely be no Battle of New Orleans, as Britain would instantly lose Canada and see the war in the Americas as kind of just over. Canada would most likely be annexed along with the Oregon Territory, and Britain would most likely have to pay war reparations to America. Of course, whenever the Opium Wars come around, Britain would most likely seize more land and ask for more money back, as it was in a more dire state. Of course, back in America would most likely easily beat Mexico, even quicker probably with the Oregon Territory, and with the extra Canadian land, America would most likely have even more natives to prosecute. How fun! Meanwhile, a civil war would still break out, probably even more early without Lincoln, but it is very easy to say that the South does not win in this timeline, and slavery is still outlawed as the Canadians in the North manpower and their influence on America would make slavery disappear along with the Confederacy lose. This would say something new for America, as it would make a new early imperialism, as they just fought an empire and seized its colonies, just like Britain or France would do. So, imperialism would start early, and it would probably start liberating lands like Cuba, Hawaii, and maybe even gain into some conflict with the Dutch East Indies. But one of the biggest factors is, during the scramble for Africa, America would most likely expand Liberia to create a United States of Africa, to make an ally in Africa, also a free nation. This state would most likely just be a puppet of America, but be seen as an independent state by other countries and be strong allies with America, obviously. But something else changes. After the defeat after the War of 1812, Britain and U.S. relationship would probably dwindle a little bit, and America would actually start to see itself a lot like Germany, a new country that's been kind of like kicked around by the empires and just kind of not seen as world power as it should be. And America would most likely become a central power, fearing the wrath of the other empires. But that's all I'm going to say for today. This is such a big and creative idea. I just want to keep going with it, so there will be a part 2 out soon. I just didn't really want to make this video too long. But of course, leave a comment in the description if you think it would have gone a little differently, if you disagree with something I said. Also, comment a scenario you might want to see me do, or maybe want to have me cover a history topic you've been wondering about. It doesn't really matter. And remember to subscribe and click the like button. Bye.
Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah, hurrah, we'll give him a hearty welcome then, hurrah, hurrah, oh the men will cheer, the boys will shout, the ladies they will all turn out and we'll all feel gay when Johnny comes marching home.